Heading to an open house? Don't miss these 10 questions you need to ask that will help you determine whether or not you need to buy this house or not. Hello, it's Coni again with Buy Without Realtor, where I am equipping you with the tools and the knowledge to buy your own house. Today, we're going to talk about the 10 important questions that you need to ask when you go to an open house. And you need to ask these questions of either the seller or the listing agent. So let's get started. The first question you're going to ask is, how long has the property been on the market? What that's going to do is determine whether or not the house is overpriced or if maybe there's something wrong with the house. But that's a really important question to ask. The second question that you're going to ask is, what are the comparables in the area? And comparables mean the same type of home in the same area that have the square footage, the bedrooms, the bathrooms as the home that you're looking at. So you're going to ask that question because you want to know if this particular home that you're looking at is priced correctly. Now, if the listing agent or the seller doesn't know what the comparables are in the area, then I would suggest you ask this question and don't be mean about it. Just ask the question, well, how did you come up with the price of the house if you didn't know what the comparables are in the area? You don't say that piece, but you just ask, how did you come up with the price of the house? So the next question you're going to ask is this home in a flood zone, or is it prone to any natural disasters? You already know why you need to ask that question. Well, maybe not. So flood insurance is required on homes that are in a flood zone, and typically it's pretty expensive. So you would have to figure all of that cost into your principal, your interest, your taxes, and insurance, and of course if there's an HOA. So it's all a part of your monthly payment, so you need to ask that question. The next question you should ask is there an HOA? And an HOA is the Homeowners Association. You need to find out how much per month the HOA fee is going to be, because again, that's going to figure into your monthly cost when you're buying your home. Plus, it'll also help you determine whether or not you even want to buy this house in an HOA, because maybe the restrictions, they're too restrictive with the color of the house or how many weeds you can have in your home, or the cars you can have outside. So that is all something that an HOA will govern, and you need to find out about that information. The next question you need to ask is, why is the seller moving? And you can ask that. It is not a big mystery, and you can ask the listing agent or the seller themselves. That will determine if maybe there's any problems with the home, or maybe there's an issue with the neighborhood. Who knows? But you need to ask that question and definitely do your own research. The next question you need to ask is, what comes with the property? Does the property come with the appliances? Is the washer and dryer included? So you need to ask what is all included in the property so that you can make a proper offer. That will also save you any money out of your pocket, just in case you might need to buy a washer and dryer or refrigerator or a new stove. So definitely a good question to ask. The next question is, how old is the roof? The roof is probably one of the most expensive things to have replaced. So you want to make sure that there is enough time on the roof to be able to live in the home and not have to replace it so quickly. The next question to ask is, how old is the HVAC and cooling system? And the HVAC is your heating system. So you want to know, has it been serviced? You want to know how old it is, because again, that's going to cut into your pocket, and you'll possibly have to buy or repair if you don't know how old it is. You also want to ask the question, is it efficient? Because that is going to determine your monthly cost of your utility bills, your heating, your cooling, if you have air conditioning. So you definitely want to find out if it is an efficient system. The next question to ask is there a seller's disclosure that you can look at? On that seller's disclosure, it is a form that a seller has to fill out when they're selling their home that tells you about the property itself. If there are any repairs, it should tell you how old the roof is. It goes through anything that they have repaired in a certain period of time. It is basically a snapshot, or based on what the seller knows about that particular home that they have been living in. So it's really important to be able to see that seller's disclosure and review it. So you either ask the seller or the listing agent for it. And the final question you want to ask is, are there any problems with the house? I know that you already had the seller's disclosure, but sometimes if you're talking to a seller or the listing agent, just asking a question will give you an idea of exactly what might be wrong with the house. You can always look at the seller's disclosure later, but just to ask them point blank, is there anything wrong with the house? You might get a very different answer than what you see on the seller's disclosure. A few other tips that you may want to think about as you're at the open house. And let's say you're at the open house, you've asked all the good questions, and you're really interested in the house, but you don't let the seller know or listing agent know that you're interested in the house. You be very neutral. After you have asked all the questions and you leave, there's some things that you may want to do just to see if this truly is the right house for you. I would recommend that you walk the neighborhood. Check out the other homes in the neighborhood, and if you see any neighbors outside, you might want to ask the question, how's the neighborhood? How is the seller? What's going on with the neighborhood? Just ask them various questions just to get a sense of what the neighborhood is like and how they enjoy living there. Also, you may want to ask a neighbor is how's the cell reception and the internet connection? Those things are so important, and sometimes the neighbor may have more information than the seller would. So asking the right questions at an open house is going to help you determine whether or not this home is going to be for you and whether or not you are going to even place an offer on this home. So if you found this video informational, then please let me know in the comments that you enjoyed it. Also, I'd like to know if there are any other videos you'd like for me to make with regards to buying your home on your own. For more information about buying a home either creatively or going the traditional route, check out the link to my ebook called The Disruptor's Guide to Home Buying. That book is going to give you some interesting tips on ways that you can buy a home, and some of them you may not have thought about, and some of them you may want to know more about. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this information helpful. Thanks for watching. And remember, with the right guidance, asking the correct questions, and having confidence, you can buy your own home all by yourself using Buy Without Realtor.